The way I think, the way I think, the way I think about you, you may not think about me. The way I think about you, maybe way in the stars. The way you think about me, man, oh my God. The way I think about you may drive love in my heart. The way I think about you, man, may put hate in my heart. Concept and belief. I was on Twitter last night, just laughing, skipping through the tweets, and I posted that you can say all you want to that Donald Trump is not your president, but if you are an American citizen living in the United States of America or abroad, this is not a political stump or a public service announcement, it's just the truth. If you are an American citizen living in the United States, continental, CONUS, or OCONUS, in the continental U.S. or out of the continental U.S., he is our president. And this guy let me have it. How can you say that and you're a black man? And I said, dear brother, regardless of race, creed, color, belief, faith, way of life, if you are an American citizen living in the United States or abroad, he is our president. He is a representation of the office of the president. The highest calling in the land is to call to proclaim the gospel, to talk about God. The highest office in the land is the president of the United States. And so he wound up inboxing me, and I actually had a conversation with him. And I really believe in my heart and mind that I got through to him about concept and belief. And what I stated to the dear gentleman was that our concept drives our belief. Case in point, if I think, or if my concept is that God is in heaven, sitting in heaven waiting to drop an airplane on me, watching me like a police officer, probation officer, parole officer, PO, period, get it, PO, then my concept of what I believe about God our Father is going to drive my behavior or how I behave or conduct myself. Again, your concept drives your belief. Case in point. The way I think about you is how I'm going to talk to you and treat you. If I have high thoughts, high expectation, see you as high pedigree, high caliber, or whatever, that drives how I treat you. Even from a bomb to a gangster to a gang member to a senator. I used to be stationed at the Pentagon when George Stephanopoulos was in charge of WACA, White House Communications Agency, and Marlon Fitzwater and Colin Powell. I was at the Pentagon from June of 91 to April of 93, and as a crypto technician, and I rubbed elbows with a lot of big wigs. And so how I thought of them, from a general to the situation room, to the war room, to the war corridor, to the E-ring at the Pentagon, your concept drives your belief. If I believe that our Father in heaven is a prayer answering God, he's a good and gracious God, he knows that I'm a weak creature of habit or a moment, and that I'm trying, that the only something beats a failure is a good old fashioned try, and that I feel bad about sin and sinning and going off and snap, crackling, and popping. That's my concept, so it's going to drive me to try to be better. But it used to be when you found out somebody was really, really deceiving you, you would get angry at the deceptor, that you were the deceptee, or had been deceived, and you would start gathering all the truth you can or could in order to ease this hold that's been put on you by deception or manipulation. But now, it's like, I'm sitting in the parking garage, of course, at work, before work. Now it's like when people have been deceived, they so angry that you tell them the truth that they hang on to the concept or the lie or the manipulation or the deception versus the truth. I think Mark Twain said it once. He said, it's easier to trick somebody than to convince somebody they've been tricked. Again, Mark Twain said, it's easier to trick somebody than to convince somebody they've been tricked. So how I think about the Most High God, and how I think about you drives my belief and my behavior and my conduct. If you think you got a right to be angry and nasty, especially on social media, some of y'all need to just stay in bed. You get up, and the first thing you do is you tweet or you put something on social media that's indifferent, racist, borderline racial, derogatory, mean, meme, caption, far left, far right. I mean, it is unreal how some of y'all, and then you wonder why you're alone. Nobody want to wake up. I mean, even the Incredible Hulk got a girlfriend, but every time he get mad, the relationship is over, and he stomps all across the world, tearing up stuff and going crazy and roar. And a lot of y'all are just Incredible Hulk Juniors. As I leave this alone. But your concept and your belief, how I think about you is going to drive how I treat you. If I think dirty and low about you, God, ooh, woe unto thee. If you think dirty and low about me, woe unto me. So we have to change our concept in order for our belief to change. You know, the way I think about you, the way you think about me. The Bible talks about this in Luke. It says the same measure that you met out is that you receive. In other words, how you think about somebody is how they can think about you. You know, a dog carry a bone, a dog bring a bone. There's somebody bring you gossip, there's somebody talking about you. But we got to get away from when you know you've been deceived. There's no such thing as a Caucasian truth, an African-American truth, a Russian truth, a Jewish truth, a Polish truth, German truth. It's only Yahweh's truth, Ehamim, the God of truth. And when you've been deceived and you know you've been deceived, believe the truth and seek change, and don't stay hateful and mean and one-sided and bigoted and derogatory, and you know you've been tricked and you still stay with the same lie. If you live in this country or not, and this is not a public service announcement or a political stump, nobody knows my voting record and nobody knows who I voted for. But if you live in this country or not, Donald Trump is our president. He represents the American. He represents the office of the presidency. So we ought to pray as best we can to get as best we can out of him and anybody that's representing us. We should always pray for people that are in authority over us, or those that we are in subjection to. The Bible says this. We're to pray for those in positions of leadership. Stop being bigoted. Stop being racist. Stop being racial. When you've been tricked and you find out the truth, take it, change, rearrange. Don't stay the same when you know you've been lied to. No such thing as an African-American truth, a Caucasian truth, a Jewish truth, a Catholic truth, a Christian truth, Islam truth. It's only the God of truth, his truth. There's no such thing as his way, her way. It is, but it's only one way, Yahweh. We need to get away from our concept and belief that warps us and get back to the transformation, not the transmutation. Transformation is something that takes place that's rightfully supposed to take place. Larvae, butterfly, but a transmutation is going forward. Then it went death, transmute, and then the form start taking on its own formation, transmutation. You're going forward. You went death. You stop growing the righteous way, the right way, and start growing as a deviant or pervert or angry or evil or mean or nasty man or woman or person. Your concept and your belief drive you. You cannot get away from your concept. Your concept is what you believe. Your concept is how you act and conduct yourself according to what you believe. Concept, conceit, construct, constrict, constrain, contain, continual, reconstruct. We need to look at our concept so our belief will change. Your concept drives your belief. If your concept don't change, your belief is not going to change. And then your faith grows out of your belief. Peace. One.